Have you ever seen a light flicker in the dark and wondered, not just why, but who? Maybe it's a bulb dying, or maybe it's something else, something that knows you're there, waiting for you to notice. If that thought sends a chill down your spine, then you're exactly where you belong. Welcome to Friday 13, the channel where we don't just tell stories. We drag you into the shadows and make you feel every heartbeat of fear. You didn't stumble onto this video by chance. No, you clicked the flickering lights of the Ozarks because you're one of us, someone who lives for that rush of dread, that moment when the ordinary turns into a nightmare. This video, it's for you. Yes, you, sitting there right now, maybe with the lights low, maybe already feeling that itch to look over your shoulder. You've landed on the perfect spot, and I'm here to deliver a tale so haunting, so personal, you'll think twice before trusting the glow in your own home. So, settle in, crank up the volume, and let's step into the Ozarks together. Because on Friday 13, we don't hold back. This is your story, now. And it's about to get dark. Before we dive in, let's start with that hook I planted. What would you do if the lights around you? What would you do if the lights around you flickered? Not because of a storm or a bad wire, but because something was trying to get your attention. Hold that question close, because it's about to become real for someone named Clara. But first, I want you to know you're in the right place. You chose Friday 13 because you wanted a horror story that hits hard. And I'm promising you right now, this is it. It's long, it's detailed, and it's packed with the kind of suspense that'll have you gripping your seat, wondering what's next. This isn't a quick scare, it's a journey, and I'm taking you, yes, you, along for every twisted turn. Ready? Let's meet Clara and see what happens when the lights start to flicker in a way they shouldn't. This is the Ozarks. Rugged, wild, a place where the land feels alive with secrets. It's all dense forests, winding rivers, and hills that swallow sound. By day, it's beautiful. By night, it's something else. That's where we find Clara, a 29-year-old writer who's rented a cabin deep in these woods to finish her novel. See, she's alone, no neighbors for miles, just her laptop, and the quiet. She's heard the local tales, flickering lights that lure people into the trees, never to return. But she's a city girl, skeptical, here for peace, not paranoia. The cabin's cozy, wood walls, creaky porch, and old lights that hum when she flips them on. It's perfect until it isn't. You've been somewhere like that, haven't you? A place that feels safe until the dark creeps in? Well, Clara's about to learn what the Ozarks hide when the sun goes down. It's her second night, and Clara's deep in her work. Words flowing, coffee cold. Then, the lamp flickers, just once, a quick stutter. She glances up, shrugs. Old wiring, right? But it happens again, longer this time, the whole room pulsing dark, then light. She stands, checks the switch. Nothing's loose. The hum in the walls gets louder, like a swarm of bees trapped inside. She mutters, "Great, power surge," and grabs her phone to call the landlord. No signal. That's when she hears it. A tap, soft but sharp, from the window. She freezes. The glass is black, reflecting her pale face. But beyond it, nothing. Or is there? So, let's answer that first hook. What do you do when the lights flicker? Clara's about to find out. But here's your next hook. What if it's not the lights playing tricks? What if it's something outside? And Clara's heart skips. She saw it, something out there, caught in that flicker. She grabs a flashlight, swings it toward the window. Empty woods, mist curling through the trees. "Just my imagination," she whispers, but her voice shakes. The light's steady, and she laughs it off, nerves frayed. Back at her desk, she tries to focus, but the flickering starts again. Rhythmic now, like a heartbeat. Tap tap goes the window, louder, insistent. She doesn't look, she can't. The air turns cold, her breath fogging up. Then, the lamp dies completely, plunging her into dark. Except for one light outside, flickering through the trees, faint but growing brighter. She stares, mesmerized. Let's answer that hook. It's not just the lights, it's something out there, calling her. Here's your next one. What if it wants her to follow? So, Clara's not thinking straight now. She's scared, sure, but curious too. That light out there, it's not a car, not a house. Just a lone glow, weaving through the trees. She steps onto the porch, the cold biting her skin. Hello? She calls, her voice swallowed by the woods. The flickering speeds up, like it's excited she's noticed. Tap, tap, tap. The sounds everywhere now, from the windows, the roof, the trees. She swings the flashlight. No one, nothing. But when she turns back, the cabin's lights are on again, blazing through every window like a beacon. She stumbles inside, locks the door, but the flickering outside grows. More lights now, dozens, dancing in the dark. They're closer, surrounding her. So, that hook. It wants her to follow, and it's not alone. Here's your next hook. What if they're already inside? Clara's trapped. The cabin's a storm of light and dark, flickering so fast it's dizzying. She grabs a knife, spins around, and sees them. Shadows on the walls, tall and twisted, moving when the lights dim. They're not reflections, there's nothing to cast them. Get out, she screams, but the tapping turns to pounding, shaking the cabin. The outside lights press against the windows, blinding, and a whisper cuts through. Look at us. It's not one voice, it's many, layered, hungry. She drops the knife, covers her eyes, but the flickering seeps through her fingers. When she looks up, the shadows are gone, but the mirror across the room shows them, standing behind her, their faces blank, eyeless, reaching. She runs for the door, but it won't budge. The lights die, and the screen goes black. Clara's story ends there. Or does it? Locals found the cabin days later, empty. Lights burned the cabin days later, empty. Lights burned out, claw marks on the walls. Some say she wandered into the woods, chasing those lights, and never came back. Others swear they've seen her silhouette in the trees, flickering with them. The Ozarks keep their secrets, but the tales grow. Don't trust the lights, don't follow the glow. So, that hook. They're inside, and they take what they want. Here's your final hook for you. What if those lights aren't just in the Ozarks? See, what if they're outside your window right now, waiting for you to look? That's it for tonight, you fearless fiends. If Clara's fate got your fearless fiends, if Clara's fate got your pulse racing, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. More nightmares are coming. Tell me in the comments, would you follow those lights? Stay safe, and maybe keep your curtains closed. This is Friday 13, signing off, but the dark's still out there, flickering for you. What if a photo you took started moving, but only when you weren't looking, but only when you weren't looking? Picture this. You snap a shot of your room, the image develops, and everything's normal, until you turn away. When you glance back, something's shifted. A shadow's grown, a face has appeared. Would you stare at it, trying to catch it in the act? Or would you destroy it and hope it's over? That's the hook I'm planting in your mind right now. And trust me, it's only the beginning. Welcome to Friday 13, where nightmares don't just whisper, they scream. If you're here, watching this, you didn't click by mistake. No, you Yes, you, sitting there with the lights low, or maybe that old photo album nearby, chose this because you're drawn to the dark, to that shiver that races down your spine when the ordinary turns sinister. This video, the Polaroid that moves, is for you, the horror lover who's been searching for a story so chilling, so personal, that it feels like it's creeping into your own life. I'm here to deliver exactly that. A creepypasta, crafted to sink its claws into you and not let go. We're not messing around on Friday 13. This is your spot for tales that make you question every shadow, every sound. And tonight? No. We're diving deep into a nightmare that'll have you double-checking every picture you own. So, get comfortable, crank up the volume, and let's step into the abyss together. Because this story, it's yours now. Let's hold on to that opening hook for a second. What would you do if a photo started moving? Keep that question close, because it's about to get real for someone named Alex. But first, I want you to know you're in the right place. You clicked on Friday 13 because you wanted the best in horror. And I'm promising you right now, this video is going to deliver. It's long, it's detailed, and it's packed with the kind of suspense and fear that keeps you up at night, wondering what's lurking just out of sight. This isn't some quick scare. This is a journey, and I'm taking you along for every twisted step. Ready? Let's meet Alex and see what happens when a simple camera becomes a window to something wrong. Imagine a quiet suburb, the kind of place where nothing exciting ever happens. Until it does. This is where Alex lives, a 17-year-old with a restless streak and a love for anything odd. God, it's a lazy Saturday, and Alex is wandering through a garage sale down the street, hunting for something cool, maybe a weird record or a busted gadget. Then they spot it, an old Polaroid camera, scratched and heavy, with a faint chemical tang. The seller, a grizzled old man with eyes like pits, hands it over with a warning. Careful with that. It sees things. Alex smirks. Sounds like a creepy sales pitch. They fork over $5, grab a pack of film, and head home, itching to play with their new toy. You've probably been to a garage sale like that, right? Found something strange and wondered about its story? Well, Alex is about to find out this camera's story, and it's not one they're ready for. Dear looking, Alex loves creepypastas, haunted tech, cursed objects, they've heard it all. So this camera? It's just a fun relic to them. They snap a test shot of their room. The bed, the window, the closet door ajar. The Polaroid spits out, blank at first, then slowly develops. It's normal. Messy sheets, sunlight spilling in. Alex tosses it aside and grabs their phone. But when they glance back, something's off. The closet door in the photo. It's wider now, like something nudged it open. Alex squints, heart picking up. No way, they mutter, but it's real. Then they see it. A shadow inside the closet, faint, but growing darker. So, let's answer that first hook. What do you do when a photo changes? Alex stares, frozen. And here's your next hook. What if it's not just the photo that's moving? Alex isn't done. They can't be. They take another photo, this time of the kitchen. It develops. The fridge, the counter, a bowl of fruit. They set it down, watching. Sure enough, when they look again, the fruit's decayed. Apples oozing, bananas black. A fly buzzes in the photo, though the real kitchen is still. Their pulse hammers. They snap more shots, the living room, the backyard, their reflection in the bathroom mirror. Each time, it's the same. The photos start normal, but when Alex looks away, they change. A figure peers through the living room window, eyes glowing. Their reflections grin, twists into something cruel. And in every photo, that shadow from the closet is there. Closer, sharper, like it's stalking through the images. Alex shows their friends. but the photos look fine to them. You're paranoid, they laugh. But you get it, don't you? That sinking feeling when no one believes you, when you're alone with the fear. What would you do if you saw something no one else could? By now, Alex is scared out of their mind, but they keep going. It's like the camera's pulling them in, daring them to take one more shot. They hold it up, snap a self-portrait, forcing a shaky smile. The Polaroid slides out, developing. Their face, the bed, the closet behind them. At first, it's okay. Then, the closet door in the photo swings wide. The shadow steps out. Tall, thin, with arms like twisted branches. Its face is a blur, but its eyes are black voids, staring. It reaches for Alex in the photo, fingers stretching closer. Alex drops it, stumbling back. But when they look again, the hand's almost at their shoulder. They grab scissors, slashing at the picture, but it moves faster. The figure's fingers close around their throat. Alex chokes, clawing at nothing, until the photo falls and the figure pulls back, waiting. So, that second hook. It's not just the photo moving, it's reaching into reality. Here's your next hook. What if it can get out? Alex is unraveling. They smash the camera. It won't break. They burn the photos. New ones slide out, unasked. The figure's everywhere now, behind them, beside them, its shadow swallowing the frame. Then, they hear it. A scratching, soft but real, from the closet. They fling the door open, empty. But when they turn, the camera's gone. Relief hits. Maybe it's over. Then, that whirring starts again. Slowly, they look up. The camera's back on the desk, a fresh Polaroid emerging. Alex trembles, peering at it. It's them, right now, staring at the camera. And behind them, the figure stands, real, solid, its hand on their shoulder. They spin around. Nothing. In the photo, it leans closer, whispering. A cold breath brushes Alex's neck. They scream, and the scream cuts to black. Oh, Alex's fate hangs there, doesn't it? Some say they disappeared that night. Some say they disappeared that night, leaving a room strewn with Polaroids. The figure inching closer in each one. Others whisper, they're still out there, running from a camera they can't escape. The stories spread. Don't buy old cameras. Don't snap photos alone. But here's the final hook for you. What if that camera's still waiting, tucked away at some garage sale near you? How far you do? What if it's in your town right now, calling your name? Next time you take a picture, check it twice. Is everything still, or is something moving just beyond your sight? That's it for tonight, you brave souls. If this creepypasta crawled into your head, hit that like button. If this creepypasta crawled into your head, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. More terrors are coming. Tell me in the comments, would you pick up that camera? Stay safe out there, and maybe skip the Polaroids. This is Friday 13, signing off. However, the shadows are still watching. What would you do if you found a camera in the woods? Abandoned, battered, with footage that shouldn't exist. Would you watch it? Or would you leave it where it lay, praying whatever left it there doesn't come looking? Oh. Welcome back to Friday 13, the channel where we chase the shadows and dig up the nightmares you can't unsee. Oh. If you're here, you're not just browsing. You're one of us, drawn to the dark, craving that rush of fear that makes your heart skip. This video, it's for you. Yes, you, sitting there right now, maybe with the curtains drawn, maybe wondering if the woods outside your window are as safe as they seem. Tonight, we're heading into Yellowstone, a place of beauty by day and terror by night. This isn't just a story. It's a glimpse into something real. something caught on tape. So, settle in, turn up the volume, and let's uncover what happened to the camper who never came back. Oh, before we dive in, let me plant a seed in your mind. Something to carry with you as we go. Imagine you're out there, deep in the wilderness, miles from help, with nothing but a tent and a camera. The fire's dying, the night's closing in, and you hear it, a sound that doesn't belong. Not an animal, not the wind, but something watching. What would you do? Would you grab that camera and hit record, hoping to prove you're not crazy? Or would you run, leaving everything behind? Hold on to that, because tonight, you're about to meet someone who chose to film, and what they captured might just change how you see the wild forever. This is where it begins. Meet Sarah, a solo camper, 28 years old. The kind of person some of you might relate to. She's an adventurer, a nature lover, armed with a backpack, a tent, and her trusty GoPro. Yellowstone's her playground. Geysers, hot springs, endless trails. She's been planning this trip for months, documenting every step for her vlog. Picture this. It's July, the air is warm, and the park's alive with birdsong and the hum of summer. Sarah sets up camp in a remote spot off the main trails. Legal, but isolated, just how she likes it. The footage starts normal, her smiling at the camera, unpacking her gear, talking about the stars she'll see tonight. What? It's peaceful, almost cozy. But there's something in the frame, something she doesn't notice. A shadow at the edge of the trees, too tall, too still. You see it, don't you? Right there, watching her. Night falls, and Sarah's still filming. Little updates for her followers. Her voice bright against the crackling fire. The woods are quiet now, too quiet. Like the animals know something she doesn't. She pans the camera around, showing off the darkness beyond the firelight, joking about bears. But then, listen closely, you hear it. A twig snaps, sharp and deliberate, just outside the glow. Sarah freezes, her laugh dying mid-sentence. She swings the camera toward the sound, and there's nothing, just trees and shadows. Probably a deer, she says, but her voice shakes. And here's your first hook, straight from Sarah to you. What would you do if you heard that snap? Alone in the wild. Would you stay put? Or would you start packing? The next clip's where it turns. It's past midnight, and Sarah's awake, wide awake. She's whispering to the camera now, her breath fogging in the cold. I heard it again, she says. Closer, this time. The mic picks up faint rustling outside, like something circling the tent. She doesn't move, doesn't dare zip the flap, but you can see it in her eyes, that primal fear kicking in, the kind you feel when you're not the top of the food chain anymore. The rustling stops, and for a moment, she relaxes. Then, bam, a low guttural growl rumbles through the tent, so deep it shakes the camera. Sarah gasps, fumbles the GoPro, and the screen goes black. When it comes back, she's trembling, whispering, "That wasn't a bear. That wasn't anything I know." Here's where the tension cranks up, and where you might start feeling that chill yourself. Sarah's outside the tent now, camera in hand, shining its weak light into the dark. She's whispering, "I have to see what it is." Brave, right? Or maybe stupid. The woods are pitch black, the kind of dark that swallows you whole. She sweeps the light across the trees, and there, a pair of eyes flash back, bright and unblinking, too high off the ground for a wolf or a cougar. They vanish before she can focus. Her breathing's ragged now, the camera shaking as she backs toward the tent. Then she stops, dead still, because she hears it, a voice, faint and raspy, calling her name. Sarah. Not from the trees, but from behind her. And here's your next hook. What's out there, calling her by name? Is it human? Or something pretending to be? The next clip's a mess. Literally. The camera's fallen, lens cracked, pointing at Sarah's tent. It's torn open, flaps flapping, in a wind that wasn't there before. Her gear's scattered. Backpack, boots, everything. But she's gone. The fire's out, just cold ash now, and the woods are silent again. Too silent. You can hear the camera's mic straining, picking up something. A low hum, like a chant, rising and falling. It's not wind, not an animal. It's deliberate, coming from everywhere and nowhere. Then, footsteps. Slow, heavy, circling the camp. The camera catches a shadow, long, thin, impossibly tall, stretching across the tent. It pauses, then moves out of frame. The footage runs for another minute, just that empty camp, that hum, until the battery dies. Oh, close. 3 days later, rangers found Sarah's camp, or what was left of it. The tent, the gear, the camera, but no Sarah. No tracks, no blood, no sign of a struggle beyond the mess on that tape. They chalked it up to a bear attack. But the footage? What? That's harder to explain. They uploaded it online, hoping someone might recognize her stuff. And it spread. Hikers, campers, people like you, dissecting every frame. Some say it's a hoax. Others swear they've heard that hum in Yellowstone themselves. And here's another hook for you. What took Sarah? Was it something natural, or something that's still out there, waiting for its next shot on camera? No one's found Sarah, or her body. The footage ends where we left it, but the story doesn't. Campers in Yellowstone still talk about it. Whispers of a presence in the woods, a voice that knows your name, a shadow that doesn't fit. Maybe it's just a tale to scare newbies. Or maybe, next time you're out there, tent pitched, fire low, you'll hear it too. That hum, your name on the wind. And here's the final hook, just for you. What if that camera's still out there, recording something new? What if it's waiting for someone, maybe you, to pick it up and press play? That's all for night, you brave souls. If Sarah's story got your blood pumping, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you're locked in for our next dive into the dark. Tell us in the comments. Would you watch that footage if you found it? This is Friday 13, where the wild hides more than you know. Sleep tight, and maybe skip that camping trip. Welcome to Friday 13, where the shadows whisper and the darkness holds secrets. Where the shadows whisper and the darkness holds secrets you might wish you'd never uncovered. If you're here, it's because you've chosen to step into the unknown, to let fear grip you and not let go. You didn't just click on the clock that counts down by accident. You're here because you crave a story that sinks its teeth into you and doesn't let up. This isn't just any creepypasta. It's your descent into a nightmare, crafted for horror lovers like you. You, sitting there right now, maybe with the lights off, maybe already feeling that itch to look over your shoulder. You found the perfect video, and I promise, we're going to deliver exactly what you came for. A tale so chilling, so personal, you'll wonder if that ticking is coming from your own clock. So, settle in, turn up the volume, and let's dive into the dark together. This is Friday 13, and we're about to make your night a whole lot creepier. Here's your first hook. What if you found a clock that wasn't counting time? It was counting down to the end of your life. Would you ignore it, smash it, or stare at it, helpless, as the seconds slipped away? Hold that thought, because it's about to become real for someone named Alex. But before we meet them, I want you to know you're in the right place. You chose Friday 13 because you wanted a horror story that hits hard, and this one's for you. It's long, it's detailed, and it's packed with the kind of suspense that'll have you gripping your seat, wondering what's next. This isn't a quick scare. It's a slow, creeping dread, and I'm taking you along for every tick of the clock. Ready? Let's meet Alex and see what happens when time starts running out. This is where it all begins. An abandoned house on the edge of town. The kind of place you dare your friends. The kind of place you dare your friends to enter on a dark night. Meet Alex, a 25-year-old urban explorer who's seen it all, or so they think. They've broken into crumbling mansions, forgotten hospitals, even an old asylum once. But this house, it's different. The air's thick with something wrong, and then they see it. A clock, ornate and ancient, sitting on the mantle like it's been waiting. But it's not showing the time, it's counting down. 11:59 with 59 millisecond, 58 millisecond. You've seen clocks like this in movies, right? But this one feels real, like it's ticking for you. So, let's answer that first hook. What do you do when you find a clock counting down? Alex is about to make a choice. But here's your next hook. What if the clock is counting down for them? Alex isn't scared, not yet. They figure it's a prank, some old timer set to freak out trespassers. They reach out, touch the clock. It's cold, unnaturally so, and the numbers keep ticking. 11:59 with 40 millisecond, 39 millisecond. They try to stop it, but there's no button, no switch. The clock just keeps going. They laugh, shaky, and turn to leave. But then, the house shifts. The door slams shut, the windows rattle, and the air turns icy. Alex spins back to the clock, and that's when they see it. A shadowy figure, standing in the corner, barely visible, watching. You felt that, haven't you? That sense that you're not alone, that something's just out of sight. Let's answer that hook. The clock isn't just counting down, it's counting down for Alex. Here's your next one. What if it's not just a clock, it's a curse? Alex bolts for the door, but it won't budge. The windows are sealed tight, the walls closing in. They're trapped. The clock's ticking fills the room, drowning out their panicked breaths. They grab a chair, smash it against the window. Nothing. The glass doesn't even crack. That's when they hear it. A whisper, faint but clear. You can't escape time. It's coming from the clock. Alex stumbles back, eyes wide. They glance at the mantle, and there's something new. A journal, leather-bound and ancient, sitting beside the clock. They snatch it, flip it open. The pages are filled with names, dates, and times, all counting down to 0. The last entry? Alex's name, today's date, and the clock's current time. 23:59:00. So, that hook, it's not just a clock, it's a curse, a death sentence. Here's your next hook. What if the clock can't be stopped? Alex's hands shake as they read. Each entry tells the same story. Someone found the clock, tried to stop it, and failed. The final words are always the same. It came for me. They look up, and the figure is closer now, its face a blur of darkness. The clock ticks louder. 11:58 with 40 millisecond, 39 millisecond.
Alex tries to smash the clock with a candlestick. Nothing. It keeps ticking, unmoved. They scream, "What do you want?"
The whisper returns. Your time. The figure steps into the light, and Alex sees it. Its face is a twisted mirror of their own, hollow-eyed and grinning. Let's answer that hook. The clock can't be stopped. It's relentless, inevitable. Here's your next one. What if the clock is counting down to something worse than death? Close quote. Alex is breaking. They've tried everything. Smashing, burning, even begging. But the clock keeps ticking. 12 a.m., 10 millisecond, 9 millisecond. The figure kneels beside them, its breath cold on their neck. "You're mine," it hisses. Alex's vision blurs, their heart pounding in sync with the ticks. At 12 a.m., 1 millisecond, the room falls silent. The clock stops. Alex looks up, hope flickering. Then, the figure's hand clamps onto their shoulder. The screen goes black. X. Alex's story ends there. Or does it? The house still stands. The clock still waits. Some say it resets, counting down for the next soul who dares to enter. So, that hook. It's counting down to something worse. It's counting down to becoming the next shadow, trapped forever. Here's your final hook for you. What if that clock is out there, waiting for someone like you to find it? Next time you see an old clock, will you check if it's counting up or down? That's it for tonight, you fearless souls. If this creepypasta crawled under your skin, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. More nightmares are coming. Tell me in the comments, would you try to stop the clock? Stay safe, and maybe avoid old houses. This is Friday 13, signing off, but the shadows are still watching. Stood near a playground at night, when it's empty, and felt something off. Maybe the swings creaked, and you told yourself it was just the wind. But what if it wasn't? What if you heard a whisper, soft and eerie, calling your name? If that thought sends a chill down your spine, then you're in the right place. Welcome to Friday 13, where we don't just tell stories. We plunge you into the nightmare and make you feel every shadow, every shiver. You clicked on the Whispering Playground of Texas for a reason, didn't you? You're one of us. Someone who lives for that rush when the everyday turns terrifying, who craves a tale that lingers long after the screen goes dark. You didn't stumble here by mistake. No, this video is for you, sitting there right now, maybe with the lights dimmed, maybe already wondering about the playgrounds you've passed. You found the perfect spot, and I'm here to deliver a horror story, so gripping, so personal, you'll never look at a swing set the same way again. So, get comfortable, turn up the sound, and let's walk onto this playground together. Because on Friday 13, we don't pull punches. This is your story now, and it's about to get real dark. Let's linger on that opening hook for a second. What would you do if a playground whispered your name in the dead of night? Keep that question close, because it's about to hit someone named Emily hard. But before we dive in, I want you to know you're exactly where you belong. You chose Friday 13 because you wanted a horror story that doesn't mess around. And I'm telling you right now, this is it. It's long, it's packed with detail, and it's dripping with the kind of suspense that'll have you leaning in, questioning what's real. This isn't a cheap jump scare. It's a slow burn of dread, and I'm taking you, yes, you, along for every twisted step. Ready? Let's meet Emily and see what happens when the whispers begin. Meet Emily. She's 24, just moved to this sleepy Texas. Check me out. Meet Emily. She's 24, just moved to this sleepy Texas town, looking for a fresh start. By day, the playground near her house is picture perfect. Kids shrieking with joy, parents sipping coffee. But at night, it's a different beast. The swings move when no one's there, the slide groans like it's alive, and the air feels thick, like it's watching her. Emily's dog, Max, hates it. Every night they pass, he growls, fur bristling, staring into the dark. She brushes it off. Dogs get spooked, right? But tonight, something changes. As they walk by, she hears it. A whisper, small and childlike, saying, "Emily." She freezes, heart pounding. It's the wind, she tells herself. But Max whimpers, tugging her away. You've been there, haven't you? That moment when your gut screams, run, but your feet won't move. So, let's answer that first hook. What do you do when the playground whispers your name? Emily's about to find out. But here's your next hook. What if it's not just a whisper? What if it's a warning? Emily can't sleep. The whispers are back. The whispers are back. The whispers are back. Louder now. Slipping through the glass. Emily, come play. She yanks the blankets up. But they keep coming. She stumbles to the window, peers through the blinds, and stops breathing. There, on the swings, are shapes. Small, shadowy figures, swaying in perfect rhythm. They're not kids. They're too still, too wrong. One turns its head, and its eyes glint, pale and hollow. Emily slams the blinds shut, pulse racing. She tries to logic it away. Maybe it's pranksters. But you know that feeling, don't you? When your brain says one thing, but your bones say another. So, that hook. It's not just a whisper. It's a warning, a signal something's coming. Here's your next one. What if the playground wants her to join them? Oh, Emily's phone lights up. Come outside. She stares, confused. She stares, confused. No name, no number she knows. Another buzz. We're waiting. Her stomach drops. She peeks out again, and the figures are closer, standing at the playground's edge, staring right at her house. One lifts a hand, beckoning her. She wants to call someone, anyone, but her hands won't move. Instead, she grabs a flashlight, slips on her shoes, and steps outside, Max whining at the door. You've felt that pull, haven't you? When fear says, stay, but something drags you forward. Let's answer that hook. The playground wants her to join them, and it's not asking nicely. Here's your next hook. What if the playground isn't just haunted? What if it's alive? Emily's flashlight cuts through the dark. The shadows are gone, but the playground's awake. Swings flying high, the slide rattling like it's shaking. Swings flying high, the slide rattling like it's shaking itself loose. She steps closer, and the ground pulses under her boots, like it's breathing. The whispers surround her now, overlapping. Stay with us, forever. She tries to retreat, but the gate slams shut behind her. She's locked in. The playground's a trap, and it's got her. You've had nightmares like that, right? Where escape slips away, just as you reach for it. So, that hook. It's not just haunted. It's alive, a living thing with a hunger all its own. Here's your next one. What if it's not just Emily it wants? What if it's been feeding on others for years? Emily's flashlight dies, and the dark swallows her. The whispers turn to shrieks, and she feels them. Small, icy hands clutching her ankles, her arms. She kicks, screams, but they're everywhere. Then, she sees it. Faces in the dirt, pale and warped, mouths stretched in silent wails. They're children, or what's left of them, trapped under the playground. They're not attacking her. They're begging her to run. But it's too late. The ground splits, and something rises. Huge, dark, shifting like smoke. It's the playground's core, its beating heart, and it wants her. The screen cuts to black. Emily's gone. Or is she? The playground's still there, silent by day, whispering by night. Locals whisper it's cursed, that it's swallowed dozens over decades, but no one dares touch it. So, that hook, it's not just Emily. It's claimed many, and it's always hunting. Here's your final hook, just for you. What if that playground's in your town? What if it's whispering your name right now? What? That's it for tonight, you brave souls. If this story got under your skin, Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell. More nightmares are on the way. Drop a comment. Would you answer the playground's call? Stay safe out there. And maybe skip the swings after dark. This is Friday 13, signing off. Though the darkness, it's still waiting for you. Stretch of road so empty. On a stretch of road so empty, it feels like the world forgot it. And, out of nowhere, a figure slams into your windshield, only to vanish when you stop to look. Imagine that, you. The headlights cutting through the dark, your heart pounding, and no one around to hear you scream. If that thought grips you, if it sends a shiver racing down your spine, then you're exactly where you're meant to be. Welcome to Friday 13, the channel where we don't just tell tales, we drag you into the shadows and make you feel the cold breath of the unknown. You didn't click The Hitchhiker of Black Horse Lake, Montana by mistake. No, you're here because you're one of us, someone who lives for that rush when fear takes hold, who craves a story that sticks with you long after the screen fades. This video is for you. Yes, you. Sitting there right now, maybe with the lights dimmed, maybe already wondering about that lonely road you've driven once or twice. You've found the perfect place, and I'm here to promise you a horror tale, so vivid, so personal, you'll check your rearview mirror tonight. So, settle in, turn up the sound, and let's hit the road together, because on Friday 13, we don't hold back. This is your nightmare now, and it's about to unfold. Let's sit with that first hook. What would you do if something hit your car in the dead of night and disappeared without a trace? Hold that fear close, because it's about to become real for someone named Ryan. But before we meet him, I want you to know you're in the right spot. You chose Friday 13 because you wanted a horror story that digs into your soul. And I'm telling you right now, this is it. It's long, it's packed with tension, and it's dripping with the kind of suspense that'll keep you leaning in, wondering what's waiting in the dark. This isn't a cheap scare. It's a slow, twisting dread. And I'm taking you, yes, you, along for every mile of this cursed highway. Ready? Let's meet Ryan and see what happens when the hitchhiker strikes. This is Highway 87, just north of Great Falls, Montana. A lonely ribbon of asphalt cutting through Cascade County, near the seasonal Black Horse Lake. It's dry most of the year, a ghost of a lake, but the stories? They never dry up. Meet Ryan, a 32-year-old delivery driver who knows these roads like his own heartbeat. He's late tonight, pushing his old pickup hard, the radio crackling static. You've driven a road like this, haven't you? Where the silence presses in, and every shadow feels alive. Ryan's not thinking about legends. He's thinking about home. But then, out of the corner of his eye, he sees him. A man on the roadside, long black hair whipping in the wind, denim jacket glinting under the headlights. He's thumbing for a ride. Ryan slows. Should he stop? Before he can decide, there's a sickening thud. The figure slams into his windshield, rolling over the hood. Ryan swerves, tires screeching, and slams the brakes. So, let's answer that first hook. What do you do when something hits your car and vanishes? Ryan's about to check. But here's your next hook. What if that hitchhiker wasn't alive to begin with? Ryan's shaking you. His flashlight dances over the pavement. But there's nothing. No dented hood, no crumpled figure. The crack on his windshield stares back like an accusation. But the road's empty. He mutters to himself. I hit him. I know I hit him. He's heard the tales. Everyone around Great Falls has. The phantom hitchhiker of Black Horse Lake. A Native American man struck dead decades ago, doomed to haunt this stretch forever. Ryan laughed it off once, but now, his breath fogs in the cold, and he feels it, a prickling on his neck, like eyes boring into him. You felt that, haven't you? That sense you're not alone, even when you should be. So, that hook, the hitchhiker wasn't alive. He's a ghost, a specter tied to this road. Here's your next one. What if he's still with Ryan, riding along unseen? Ryan's back behind the wheel, but he's not alone anymore. The radio crackles, and that whisper, "Keep driving," slithers through the static. He slams it off, but the air's heavy, like someone's breathing next to him. He glances at the passenger seat. Nothing. Yet the feeling grows, a weight pressing on his chest. He floors it, the truck roaring toward Fort Benton, but the rearview mirror catches it. A flicker of denim, a shadow with long hair, sitting right behind him. Ryan yells, swerving, but when he looks again, it's gone. You know that terror, don't you? When your mind plays tricks. Or maybe it doesn't. Let's answer that hook. The hitchhiker's with him, unseen, a passenger he can't shake. Here's your next hook. What if the hitchhiker wants Ryan to join him? Ryan's losing it, The road's twisting, doubling back, trapping him in a loop. He can't escape. The fog's so thick he can barely see, but the headlights catch them. Dozens of hitchhikers, all the same, long hair, denim, standing still as statues, watching him. The whispers rise, a chorus now. Stay with us. His gas gauge drops. Empty, though he filled up hours ago. He stops, hands trembling, and the truck dies. Silence crashes in, then a tap, soft, deliberate, on the window. He turns, and there's the hitchhiker, face pressed to the glass, eyes hollow, mouth stretched in a grin. You felt trapped before, haven't you? That sinking dread when escape slips away. So, that hook. He wants Ryan to join him, to stay forever on this cursed road. Here's your next one. What if Ryan's not the first, and you're next in line? Ryan's gone, swallowed by the night, by the hitchhiker and his legion. The truck's found later, abandoned, windshield pristine, no sign of a struggle. Locals whisper, it's happened before. Drivers vanishing on Highway 87, claimed by the ghost of Black Horse Lake. So, that hook. He's not the first, and you could be next if you ever drive that road alone. Next time you're out at night, watch the roadside. You might see him, thumb out, waiting. That's it for tonight. You brave souls. If this tale rattled you, brave souls, if this tale rattled you, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. More horrors are on the way. Tell me in the comments, would you stop for that hitchhiker? Stay safe, and maybe keep your eyes on the road. This is Friday 13, signing off. But the dark, it's still out there, waiting for you. Terrorized, a small town in North Carolina, is still out there, watching from the shadows, waiting for its next victim. In 1954, something emerged from the swamps of Bladenboro, something vicious, something hungry. It left behind a trail of mutilated animals, drained of blood, and a community paralyzed by fear. But here's the thing. The sightings didn't stop in the 50s. People still whisper about it today. Welcome to Friday 13, where we don't just tell scary stories. We pull you into the dark corners of the world's most terrifying legends. 1. If you're here, yes, you, sitting there right now, maybe with the lights off, maybe already feeling that prickle on your neck, it's because you're one of us. You live for that rush, that thrill of the unknown, that only the darkest tales can deliver. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. You chose the beast of Bladenboro, North Carolina, because you're ready to face the nightmare. And I'm here for you, promising a story so chilling, so rooted in real fear, that you'll be checking over your shoulder long after we're done. This is your video. You, crafted for horror lovers like you, who crave suspense, who thrive on the edge of terror. So, get comfortable, or as comfortable as you can, because on Friday 13, we don't just scare you, we make you part of the horror. Let's step into the swamps together, you, and see what's waiting. Let's start right there, you, with that question burning in your mind. Is the beast of Bladenboro still out there? Is it watching, even now, from the shadows of those pine forests? Hold that thought, because we're about to meet someone who came face to face with it, and lived to tell the tale. But first, I want you to know you're exactly where you belong. You clicked on Friday 13 because you wanted more than a quick scare. You wanted a tale that grips you, pulls you in, and doesn't let go. That's what I'm giving you today. A deep dive into North Carolina's most terrifying legend, packed with the suspense and thrills you live for. I'll be right here with you, unraveling the mystery, feeding that fear you love to feel. So, let's meet Jake and see what happens when the beast comes calling. This is Jake, a lifelong resident of Bladenboro. He was just a teenager in 1954 when the beast first struck. But his encounter? It didn't happen back then. It happened last year. You see, the beast, never really left. Jake's story is proof of that. Let's hear it from him. It was late, maybe midnight. I was walking my dog near the edge of the swamp. You know, where the trees get real thick. Suddenly, my dog started whimpering, pulling back toward home. I thought it was a coyote or something, but then I heard it, a growl, deep and wrong, like nothing I've ever heard. I turned, and there it was, about 20 feet away. It was big, like a panther, but bulkier, with eyes that glowed red in the dark. It didn't move like any animal I know. It was stalking me, slow and deliberate. I froze, heart pounding, and then it let out this scream, like a woman in pain. I ran, faster than I've ever run in my life. When I looked back, it was gone. But I know it's still out there. I can feel it, watching. Jake's not alone, Over the years, dozens of people have reported similar encounters. Always at night, always near the swamps. But let's go back to where it all began, to 1953, when the beast first made headlines. It started with a woman in Clarkton, just a few miles from Bladenboro. She heard her neighbor's dogs barking frantically, then whimpering in terror. When she looked outside, she saw it, a large, cat-like creature slipping into the shadows. 2 days later, on New Year's Eve, the beast struck. Police Chief Roy Fors was called to a farm where 2 dogs had been torn apart, their bodies drained of blood. You felt that chill, haven't you? That moment when you realize something unnatural is at play. So, what was this creature? A wild animal? Or something more sinister? Let's dig deeper. The attacks continued, More dogs, a rabbit, even a goat, all found mutilated, their blood gone. The town was in a panic. Hunters from across the state flooded in, eager to bag the beast. Some said it was a panther, others a coyote, but nothing explained the sheer violence or the bloodlust. Then, on January 5th, 1954, it went after a human. A young mother, Miss C.E. Kinlaw, heard her puppies whining outside. When she stepped onto her porch, the beast charged her, only backing off when her husband rushed out with a shotgun. She described it as a big mountain lion, but with eyes that burned like fire. So, here's the question. If it was just a wild animal, why did it vanish so quickly? And why did the attacks stop just as suddenly as they started? On January 13th, 1954, a local farmer trapped and killed a large bobcat, and the mayor declared the beast dead. But here's the thing. Many doubted it was the real culprit. The bobcat was too small, too ordinary to explain the carnage, and the sightings didn't stop. In fact, they've continued to this day. People like Jake still see it, still hear it. So, what if the beast was never caught? What if it's still out there, lurking in the swamps, waiting for the right moment to strike again? Some say the beast is a vampire, a creature that feeds on blood. Others think it's a shapeshifter, a being that can take on different forms. But whatever it is, one thing's clear. It's not done with Bladenboro. In 2007, a local woman found her goats slaughtered, their throats torn open, blood drained. In 2019, a hunter reported seeing a large, cat-like creature with glowing eyes watching him from the trees. And just last month, a family camping near the swamp heard that same scream Jake described, a sound that made their blood run cold. So, here's the question. Is the beast of Bladenboro still hunting? And if it is, who's next? The beast of Bladenboro remains one of North Carolina's most terrifying mysteries. It's a legend that refuses to die, a shadow that still haunts the swamps. So, next time you're driving through a quiet rural town, listen closely. You might just hear it. A growl, a scream, a whisper from the dark. That's our tale tonight, you fearless fiends. If this story sent a shiver down your spine, smash that like button and subscribe to Friday 13. We've got more horrors lined up for you. Drop a comment. Do you think the beast is still out there? Or have you encountered something in the dark? Tell us. We might feature you next. Stay sharp, and maybe avoid those North Carolina backroads after dark. This is Friday 13, signing off. However, the shadows never sleep.